see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so thank you very much for allowing me to introduce like this publicly available data set to everyone. I honestly, like last semester, I was searching for a publicly available data set to like kind of go over it and then maybe do a secondary analysis on it, but I found it like a little bit difficult because at first hand, like I wasn't really sure like what I have to look for in Google or like different databases, but like at last, I found this publicly available data set like really interesting, especially since for me it was health related and I'm working on health related projects. So it was really helpful for me and I thought maybe I can share it with you all. So this is basically from the health and retirement study, which is basically taking part, in Michigan University. And it's basically a longitudinal data set with having like participants over 20,000. So it does have a lot of like variables in there in terms of like education, income, I don't know, like their health rate, their pain, their sleep disturbances, and I mean their sleep duration, like even very small data, they have everything available. However, like they do have like a lot of like missing values in there because they're working on a longitudinal, like they're working longitudinally, and that means like they have like different waves for each year. And like, so for like, let's say 10 years ago, they gathered some data from, let's say 20,000 people. And then the next year they lost some of them. Maybe some people died. Maybe they could not like get access to some others. And then, so that's how the participants, they're like adding and dropping. One thing that I found like really interesting and kind of hard to do, like to search for in a publicly available data set, is that we have to really understand the website, like really understand how the data is being gathered, how the data is being like gathered and secured in a folder, and how we can get to the code books, get to the actual data set, get to their, I don't know, questionnaires and stuff. So I found it like interesting to share what I learned from these with you. So here they all have like different links, and this is, I would want to bold this part. So it said getting started. So they have like different things down here. They do have things up here too. So we can start from here as well. So it does say everything about the data set, and then the documentations, including like questionnaires, codes book and stuff. I would say like questionnaires and code books are the most important things that you want to know about any publicly available data set, because each institute, they have their own questionnaire, they have their own like code books, and by code books I mean how they actually like what was the questions, how they responded to those questions, how they gathered those data. And this is the data products, their data products and public survey data. So oops. Okay, so if I go to the publicly available data set, we have all of these here, like they are from like different waves, different years, and they have like different products for like different years. And if you can see, like this is for 2018, and they have it from 1992. So they were gathering data from 1992 till like literally 3-4 years ago. One more thing that I would say, it's important whenever you don't understand like anything from any publicly available data set, you can literally like go and email them. They are really helpful. Like at least with this data set, when I emailed them, they were like really helpful to like telling me what kind of data I need and how I can gather them and how I can like access them. So in here we have like fat files and like longitudinal files. I would say we need like both of them, because like fat files are basically like everything that is out there, but longitudinal files are at least for this website is basically the it's a clean version of all the waves. So basically these are like all waves, and they have like 14 different waves for each year, and then they cleaned them in terms of like longitudinal files. So if I want to click on longitudinal files, they have a README file here. Oh, okay. So these are the data that you can simply like go ahead and like download. They have it in like SIS version, SPSS version, and Stata version. So whichever you're using, you can literally like download them and use them. One thing specifically for this website is that you have to log in first before you can use the data set. And for logging in, you just need to simply like create an account with your UD email address or like whatever email address. I guess you can use your Gmail too. So, I mean, whatever email platform that you're using. So as soon as you download these files, I think I have it open here. Yeah. So this is the FAT file that I mentioned. So here, if you can see, like it says S5. So this like numbers like 5, 6 and stuff. It just shows the wave. However, the other one, if we download, we'll get to something else, something like that. It's the clean version, and it does have like everything like cleaned here. As you can see, like here in labels, it says like everything like health rate, or their age, their gender, their education level. And here in the name, it says like QB. At first, I did not know like what this QB stand for, but then that's when I realized that I really need to go back and have my have the code book available. So in order to get to the code book, this data set, it does have a README file. And if you click on the README file, it takes you here where it says, for this, we recommend that users examine the HRS codebooks and HRS questionnaires. So here is when you actually need those codebooks and questionnaires in order to find out like what those names stand for. So if you can see, I have the codebook here. Yeah, so this is the codebook here. It does have like different sections where you can find like for example, I wanted to like focus on physical health, their pain, their health rate. So you can go to section C, and then these like QC, whatever, they're exactly the same names in the data set. So you can simply just go to them and like look for what you want. And then here in the description part, you can just like you can see how what was their question and how they basically like gave number to it. We had a discussion in our group that how can we like change an open-ended question to like a quantitative way. So this is basically giving like different numbers to like each answers, and then have it like as a quantitative analysis. So as you can see here, they have like different like would you say your health is excellent, very good, good, fair, or poor? And it's for rate health. So basically, if you want to see what their rate health is, so you can simply go to just this question and see how they did it. The reason that it's important is that when you want to have your actual data set, you actually have to know like what all these like numbers stand for, because you don't maybe you don't want to maybe you want to get rid of the don't know answers, or like refused answers, or like the missing problems, or like the missing values. So basically you need to know like what actually this 8 or 9 stand for. So this is basically why it's important. And also for the questionnaire part, okay, so this is for the questionnaire part. For the questionnaire, it's exactly same as the code book, but a little bit like more specific. Like it tells you like how they I mean, it's kind of like same, but it's a little bit like more specific. So in order to like get familiarized with the publicly available data set, you really need to go like deep inside and like see how they gather the data, what questions they asked, how they gave value to each like category, and at the end, like how they cleaned the data. So I thought that would be interesting for you all to know. And I'm really not, I'm still like digging deeper into this data set, but I think like it's publicly available. It does have like a lot of variables, which might be interesting to people who are actually like going to education level, because maybe you want to see like how education impacts pain. I don't know. Well, my area of interest is pain. So basically it's important for me to know like how sleep or like education or like income impacts pain. But maybe from your perspective, like from education perspective, maybe it's important for you to know like how pain impacts income or maybe these. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're
so
welcome.
This is a really great way of getting us started to look at these publicly available data set. Because with all publicly available data set, there are two things we want to look at. One is their data directory. That includes what variables or what information or what components are available in these surveys or questionnaires. And the other is the code book. So as Sanas just showed us, in these publicly available survey data, you need to look at their actual data and want to understand what each value actually represents. So in these public available data, you might have a variable that have like a quantitative value from 0 to 5. And then you want to look at their questionnaire and their code book to see what those quantitative value represents. So in the example that we just saw, you can actually code qualitative information into quantitative variables. So the 5 represents excellent and then 0 represents something else. So then let's take a look